My friends, we live in a world where voices rise like waves, where everyone has something to say, and where the loudest sound often gets the most attention. But let me ask you this: does every battle need your voice? Does every moment deserve your energy? Do you always need to respond? There are times when silence is not just golden, it is necessary, it is protection, it is wisdom. Because not every comment, not every argument, not every opinion thrown at you deserves your response. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. But then there are moments when your voice is not just needed but required, moments where staying silent would mean losing yourself, when your truth, your values, and your dignity demand that you speak up. And when that time comes, you do not whisper. You stand up and speak with clarity, with courage, and with conviction. The key is knowing the difference, knowing when your words will bring light and when your silence will preserve your peace. Because your energy is sacred. Don't waste it proving yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Don't waste it in battles that drain you but never change you. So I leave you with this. The power is not just in speaking, it is in choosing. Choosing when to respond, choosing when to stay silent, and choosing what kind of energy you allow into your space. That choice, my friends, is where true strength lies. Silence is one of the most powerful tools we have, yet it is often overlooked in a world that values constant communication and noise. It is in silence that some of the most profound realizations take place, where the greatest strength is cultivated, and where true wisdom emerges. Many people mistake silence for weakness, but in reality it takes incredible self-control and awareness to remain silent when words are expected. The power of silence is seen in various aspects of life: our relationships, our decision-making, our inner peace, and even in conflict resolution. It can be both a shield and a weapon, a source of wisdom and a means of maintaining control over one's life. Silence is often misunderstood because society places great emphasis on speaking up, voicing opinions, and making oneself heard. While there is power in speech, there is an equal, if not greater power in knowing when to remain silent. When a person learns the value of silence, they gain an incredible advantage in every area of life. Silence allows for observation, deep listening, and reflection, which in turn leads to better decision-making. Those who speak without thought often find themselves regretting their words, while those who remain silent until the right moment can express themselves with clarity and impact. One of the greatest aspects of silence is its ability to create space for thought. In silence, we find clarity. When we refrain from reacting immediately, we give ourselves the opportunity to process emotions and think through situations logically. This is particularly important in conflict situations, where responding impulsively can escalate problems rather than resolve them. Silence gives us time to assess what truly matters, what deserves our energy, and what should be left alone. When we take the time to pause and reflect instead of reacting, we can make better decisions, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and protect our peace. Silence is also a form of strength. It takes immense discipline to resist the urge to respond to negativity, criticism, or provocation. Many times, silence is the most powerful response to those who seek to bring us down. Engaging with negativity only gives it more power, whereas silence can render it powerless. When someone insults or criticizes you, responding fuels the argument and keeps the conflict alive. But when you remain silent, you strip away their power and maintain control over yourself. This is why some of the most influential and wise individuals throughout history have emphasized the importance of silence in handling criticism and conflict. In relationships, silence plays a significant role in deepening connections. It allows for better listening, which is a fundamental aspect of understanding others. When we truly listen instead of waiting for our turn to speak, we gain deeper insights into people's thoughts, emotions, and needs. Many conflicts in relationships arise because people do not take the time to listen. They are too focused on defending their own perspective instead of understanding the other person's point of view. Silence allows for empathy to develop because it creates space for genuine understanding. Beyond relationships, silence is also crucial in personal growth. Some of the most transformative moments in life happen in silence. When we are alone with our thoughts, free from distractions and external influences, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. In the silence, we confront our fears, desires, and insecurities. We reflect on our choices, learn from our mistakes, and find direction in life. This is why many great thinkers, artists, and spiritual leaders have emphasized the importance of solitude and silence. It is in those moments of stillness that creativity flourishes, self-awareness grows, and true wisdom is attained. Silence is also a powerful tool in leadership. Great leaders understand that words are important, but so is the ability to listen and observe. A leader who constantly talks but does not listen loses the trust and respect of those they lead. However, a leader who listens carefully, speaks only when necessary, and chooses their words wisely, commands authority and respect. Silence allows leaders to gather valuable information, understand different perspectives, and make informed decisions. It also demonstrates confidence. Someone who is secure in themselves does not feel the need to prove their intelligence or assert dominance through excessive talking. They let their actions and presence speak for them. Another significant aspect of silence is its role in emotional intelligence. People who master silence tend to have better control over their emotions. They do not allow anger, frustration, or excitement to dictate their responses. Instead, they pause, reflect, and then choose the best course of action. This self-control leads to better outcomes in both personal and professional settings. When faced with criticism, for example, an emotionally intelligent person understands that not every remark needs a response. Instead of reacting defensively, they take a step back, assess whether the criticism holds any truth, and then decide how to proceed. Silence can also be a form of protest and resistance. Throughout history, silence has been used as a powerful tool against oppression, injustice, and tyranny. Silence can speak volumes when words fail. It can send a message of defiance, dignity, and unwavering strength. Many peaceful protests have utilized silence as a means to make a statement without resorting to violence. The absence of words can sometimes be more powerful than the loudest speeches, forcing people to pay attention and reflect. In everyday life, silence helps us cultivate inner peace. The modern world is filled with distractions, noise, and constant stimulation. Many people feel overwhelmed and anxious because they never take the time to be still. Silence allows us to disconnect from the chaos and reconnect with ourselves. It provides a sense of calm and stability in a world that is constantly pulling us in different directions. Those who practice silence regularly, whether through meditation, solitude, or simply pausing before reacting, experience greater mental clarity and emotional stability. However, it is important to distinguish between silence as a choice and silence as suppression. Choosing silence as a form of wisdom, self-control, or inner peace is different from being silenced by fear or oppression. There are times when speaking up is necessary, when silence would mean allowing injustice or harm to continue. Knowing when to stay silent and when to speak is the key to harnessing its power effectively. True wisdom lies in understanding when your words will create change and when silence will serve you better. The power of silence is something that takes time to master. It requires discipline, awareness, and emotional intelligence. But once you learn how to use it effectively, it becomes one of your greatest strengths. Silence allows you to maintain control over yourself, protect your energy, and navigate life with greater wisdom and clarity. It is a force that, when used correctly, can transform your relationships, decision-making, and overall well-being. In a world that never stops talking, those who understand the value of silence hold the true power. The ability to respond at the right time is one of the most valuable skills a person can develop. Words have power, but their impact depends not only on what is said, but also on when they are spoken. The right response at the right time can build relationships, resolve conflicts, inspire change, and open doors to opportunities. On the other hand, a poorly timed response, even if well-intentioned, can cause misunderstandings, create unnecessary tension, or even damage trust. Knowing when to speak and what to say requires wisdom, emotional intelligence, and a deep understanding of the situation. It is a skill that is developed through observation, patience, and self-awareness. A well-timed response is not just about waiting for the right moment, but also about reading the emotions, energy, and context of the situation. People often react based on emotions, saying things they later regret because they did not pause to consider the impact of their words. Taking a moment to reflect before responding allows a person to choose their words carefully, ensuring that they convey their message effectively without unnecessary negativity. This is particularly important in moments of conflict, where emotions can cloud judgment and lead to impulsive reactions. Responding thoughtfully instead of reacting instinctively can prevent small misunderstandings from escalating into major disputes. The right response at the right time can be the difference between conflict and resolution. In disagreements, it is easy to become defensive and respond with frustration or anger. However, taking the time to understand the other person's perspective before responding can shift the entire dynamic of the conversation. When people feel heard and acknowledged, they are more likely to be open to finding common ground. A response that is calm, thoughtful, and well-timed can diffuse tension, turning a potential argument into a productive discussion. Sometimes, the best response is simply to listen and allow the other person to express themselves fully before speaking. In professional settings, the ability to respond appropriately at the right time is crucial for leadership and effective communication. Leaders who speak too soon without fully understanding a situation may make hasty decisions that negatively affect their teams. On the other hand, leaders who wait too long to address an issue may lose the respect of their employees or allow small problems to grow into bigger ones. Finding the balance between quick decision-making and thoughtful consideration is a key trait of successful leaders. A well-timed response can provide clarity, motivate a team, and guide an organization in the right direction. In personal relationships, knowing when to respond and how to phrase a response can strengthen bonds and deepen trust. Communication is not just about expressing one's thoughts, but also about understanding the emotions of others. A partner or friend who responds with empathy and timing can make the other person feel valued and supported. For example, when someone is going through a difficult time, they may not need advice immediately. Instead, they may need space, comfort, or simply someone to listen. Jumping in with a response too soon may come across as dismissive, while waiting for the right moment to speak can make all the difference. Timing also plays a critical role in opportunities and success. Many great opportunities in life depend on saying the right thing whether it is asking for a promotion, negotiating a deal, or seizing a career opportunity, timing can determine the outcome. Someone who waits too long to speak up about their aspirations may miss out on opportunities, while someone who speaks too soon without preparation may not make the impact they intended. Understanding when to voice one's thoughts, make requests, or share ideas can open doors that might otherwise remain closed. The power of a timely response is also evident in social interactions and public speaking. A well-timed joke, an encouraging word in a moment of doubt, or a reassuring statement in a stressful situation can completely shift the atmosphere. People who have a natural ability to sense the right moment to speak often build strong connections with others. They understand that their words carry more weight when spoken at the right time, making their presence more influential and respected. One of the biggest mistakes people make is responding based on impulse rather than intention. An impulsive response driven by emotions such as anger, frustration, or excitement often lacks thoughtfulness and can lead to regret. In contrast, a response that is given after careful thought carries more meaning and has a greater impact. This is why taking a pause before responding is a powerful habit. A short moment of silence can provide the clarity needed to choose the best words and the right approach. The right response at the right time is not just about words. Sometimes it is about action. There are moments in life where action speaks louder than words, and a timely response in the form of action can make all the difference. For example, standing up for someone who is being treated unfairly, offering help before someone asks, or making a move toward a goal at the perfect moment can create lasting change. Hesitation in such moments can lead to missed opportunities, while a well-timed action can change the course of events in a positive way. One of the most important aspects of timing in responses is the ability to recognize when silence is the best answer. Not every situation requires a response, and sometimes choosing not to speak is more powerful than any words that could be said. There are situations where words may not be enough to comfort someone, where an argument is not worth engaging in, or where responding would only add unnecessary tension. In such cases, silence can be a form of wisdom, allowing space for emotions to settle and for clarity to emerge. The art of responding at the right time is also deeply connected to emotional intelligence. Understanding one's own emotions and those of others is key to knowing when to speak and what to say. People with high emotional intelligence are able to sense the mood of a conversation, recognize unspoken feelings, and adjust their responses accordingly. This ability allows them to navigate social situations smoothly, build strong relationships, and maintain control over their interaction. In times of crisis or high-pressure situations, a well-timed response can make a significant difference in the outcome. Leaders, emergency responders, and decision-makers in critical roles understand the importance of responding quickly but thoughtfully. In these situations, hesitation can lead to negative consequences, while an immediate but carefully considered response can provide direction and stability. Knowing when to act decisively and when to take a step back to analyze the situation is a skill that can save lives, prevent disasters, and lead to better outcomes. Responding at the right time also plays a role in personal growth and self-improvement. Many people look back on past situations and realize that they either spoke too soon or remained silent when they should have spoken. Learning from these experiences allows a person to improve their ability to respond effectively in the future. It is through reflection and awareness that one can develop the wisdom to recognize the right moments to speak, listen, or take action. Every conversation, every decision, and every interaction is an opportunity to practice the art of timing in responses. Whether in professional life, personal relationships, or moments of self-reflection, the ability to respond appropriately at the right time is a skill that can lead to success, harmony, and a deeper understanding of oneself and others. The right words, spoken at the right moment, have the power to heal, inspire, and transform. Silence and suppression are often mistaken for the same thing, but they are fundamentally different. Silence is a choice, a conscious decision to withhold words for a greater purpose, whether that be personal peace, thoughtful observation, or strategic response. Suppression, on the other hand, is the forced silencing of one's voice, either by external forces or by internal fears, leading to emotional and psychological strain. Understanding the difference between the two is crucial in navigating life, relationships, and personal growth. Silence is powerful when it is intentional. It allows for self-reflection, deep thinking, and emotional regulation. When someone chooses silence in a heated argument, they are exercising self-control rather than engaging in a battle of words that may lead to regret. Silence in moments of uncertainty provides space for gathering thoughts, assessing the situation, and making informed decisions. It is a tool that, when used wisely, can bring clarity and strength. People who master the art of silence often find that they gain more respect and influence because their words, when they do speak, carry more weight. Silence is also a sign of wisdom. It is often said that those who speak less tend to be the ones who observe more. When a person remains silent, they are able to listen actively, understand different perspectives, and avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Many conflicts arise simply because people speak before they think, reacting emotionally rather than responding logically. Silence provides a buffer, a moment of pause before responding, which can lead to more effective communication. Those who are able to hold their silence when needed often command a certain level of authority and respect in both personal and professional settings. However, silence should not be mistaken for suppression. Suppression is the act of holding back one's voice out of fear, pressure, or societal conditioning. It is the result of being made to feel that one's words, thoughts, or feelings do not matter or are unwelcome. Suppression can occur in relationships where one partner feels they cannot express themselves without facing judgment or retaliation. It can happen in workplaces where employees fear speaking up about injustices or unfair treatment. It is seen in societies where people are denied the right to express their beliefs or challenge the status quo. Unlike silence, which is a personal choice, suppression is often imposed either externally by others or internally by one's own insecurities and fears. The danger of suppression is that it builds up over time. When a person repeatedly holds back their thoughts and emotions, they create an internal pressure that can manifest in stress, anxiety, and even physical illness. The human mind and body are not designed to suppress indefinitely. Eventually, what is suppressed either explodes in an uncontrollable outburst or leads to internal suffering. Many people who suppress their emotions for too long find themselves struggling with depression, resentment, or a sense of powerlessness. The inability to express oneself can lead to a loss of identity, making a person feel as though their thoughts and feelings do not matter. Suppression also affects relationships in profound ways. A relationship built on suppression rather than open communication is one that lacks true connection. When one person feels they cannot express their true thoughts and emotions, they begin to withdraw emotionally, leading to distance and misunderstandings. Healthy relationships thrive on honest conversations, where both people feel safe to share their feelings without fear of rejection or conflict. Silence, when used as a tool for thoughtful communication, can strengthen relationships. Suppression, on the other hand, weakens them by creating unspoken tensions and unresolved issues. In professional settings, suppression stifles creativity, innovation, and growth. Employees who feel suppressed in their workplace often struggle with motivation and engagement. When people are afraid to share their ideas or concerns, organizations suffer from stagnation and a lack of progress. Many great leaders understand the importance of creating an environment where voices are heard rather than suppressed. Encouraging open dialogue and valuing diverse opinions lead to stronger teams, better decision-making, and a more positive work culture. Suppression in the workplace not only affects individuals, but also the overall success of a company or organization. Societally, suppression has played a significant role in shaping history. Many movements for change have been born out of the need to break free from suppression. When people are denied the right to speak their truth, they eventually find ways to be heard, whether through protests, literature, art, or other forms of expression. Suppression may work temporarily, but history has shown that truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how much it is pushed down. Societies that embrace open discussion and diverse perspectives tend to progress, while those that rely on suppression eventually face resistance and struggle. The key to navigating the balance between silence and suppression is self-awareness. A person must ask themselves whether their silence is a choice or a forced condition. If silence brings peace, clarity, and strength, it is serving a purpose. If silence creates frustration, resentment, and emotional distress, it is likely a sign of suppression. Learning to recognize the difference allows a person to take control of their own voice and use it when necessary. There is great power in knowing when to remain silent and when to speak, but that power is lost when silence is imposed rather than chosen. Empowerment comes from the ability to break free from suppression and use one's voice intentionally. This does not mean speaking constantly or without thought, but rather recognizing that one's words matter and deserve to be heard. Many people struggle with the fear of speaking up, whether due to past experiences, societal expectations, or personal insecurities. Overcoming this fear requires practice, confidence, and the understanding that one's perspective is valuable. Speaking up does not always mean being loud. Sometimes the most impactful voices are those that speak with quiet confidence and certainty. The journey from suppression to intentional silence and empowered speech is one of self-discovery and growth. It involves learning to listen to one's own inner voice, understanding personal boundaries, and developing the courage to express oneself when necessary. It requires breaking free from the fear of judgment, rejection, or conflict, and embracing the belief that one's thoughts and feelings are valid. This journey is not always easy, but it is essential for personal fulfillment and authentic living. At its core, the distinction between silence and suppression lies in choice. Silence is an option, a strategic decision to hold back words for a greater purpose. Suppression is a loss of choice, a forced silencing that diminishes a person's sense of self. Recognizing the difference and learning to navigate both allows a person to maintain control over their voice, their emotions, and their interactions with the world. True empowerment comes not from speaking for the sake of being heard, but from knowing when to speak, when to remain silent, and when to break free from suppression.